Maryland has been at the forefront of cutting-edge STEM planning and initiatives. And today we are joined by leaders from the state and district level who are making this happen. Our first speaker is Donna Clem. Donna is the Maryland State Department of Education's coordinator of STEM initiatives. And knowing that before she came to the State Department, she had 37 years of service as a science teacher, science department chair, and Science and Mathematics Academy Coordinator for the Harford County Public Schools, you know that she is the right person for this job. She has many accolades and accomplishments in her career, but as a former teacher myself, I think I was most excited to know that she was named the 2003 Teacher of the Year for Harford County Public Schools. Donna will be followed by Laura Pinto. Laura is the STEM, Biomedical, and Allied Health Magnet Teacher Specialist for Arundel County Public Schools. She works predominantly with the new STEM middle schools, integrating teaching and learning curriculum development and professional development in curricular and co-curricular worlds. Laura was the Social Studies Academic Chair, the Green School Committee Chair, and Service Learning Coordinator at the Wiley H. Bates Middle School, and she was named the Maryland Council for Social Studies 2012 Teacher of the Year. And Laura will be followed by John Quinn. John is the Executive Director for the Department of STEM for Baltimore County Public Schools, where he supervises Baltimore County Public Schools' Offices of Science, Career, and Technology Education, Library Information Services, Instructional Technology, and Mathematics. In this position, John has also worked with the Community College of Baltimore County to form the Baltimore County STEM Alliance, a partnership organization designed to create clear pathways for students to pursue STEM majors and careers. And I think what's really exciting as we look at today's agenda, that STEM Alliance is comprised of members from higher education, professional societies, government, and business, all folks understanding the power of coming together and collaborating. I'm sure you're going to hear more about this today. Wow, what a group. Today's panelists are the folks who will keep kids like my Caroline loving science and other STEM fields. I'm now going to invite each panelist to come up and give a short presentation about the STEM initiatives that they're working on, but I also want to be sure that we provide some time at the end for your questions, so please write them down, or you can tweet them. We have Laura Coscarelli in the back. Our handle hashtag is #NCTAF, so if you want to send out a message, we'll also capture it that way. So Donna, I'll start with you.
I'm a little short. Good morning, my name is Donna Clem, and I'm the coordinator of STEM initiatives for the Maryland State Department of Education. Donna Clem rhymes with... It just happened that way. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the state of Maryland. It's very exciting. As you know, we have Race to the Top application, and in that Race to the Top application, STEM is clearly reflecting our governor's task force report, which was published in 2009, and there are many, many projects revolved around STEM. So what is STEM education? What is STEM education? STEM education is not easy to define, but one of our first charges was to define STEM education. We did not try to define STEM itself because it's more than science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What we decided to focus on was a definition of STEM education. STEM education is, if you picked up when you came in, the STEM standards of practice, you would see the definition of STEM education on top. It's not easy to come up with a definition, but that was one of our first charges. In addition to the definition of STEM education, which I'll talk about in a minute, we were charged with developing STEM standards of practice. We are, we believe, the first state in the country to have specific standards of practice. These practices are the how of STEM, the content of science, technology, engineering, or mathematics is the what of STEM. STEM standards of practice are great, and you'll see them in a minute, but teachers need more support. And so our third charge was to develop frameworks that tell teachers from grades K to 12 how to implement STEM standards of practice. Where do you begin with a kindergartner? And where do you end up by the time they're proficient in STEM by grade 12? We also put together an instructional guide. These instructional guides are for grades K, 1 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 12, and provide for teachers resources that they may need as they implement STEM education. STEM education is approached to teaching as well as learning. We need to have teachers that are prepared to implement STEM education. They need to know the content. They need to know the pedagogy. STEM education integrates the content and skills of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEM standards of practice guide their instruction by defining the combination of behaviors integrated with STEM content. STEM is collaborative. STEM is integrative. And the STEM standards of practice provide the framework that teachers need to implement STEM education. These are the titles of the STEM standards of practice. Look at the first two titles. Know your science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That doesn't make it STEM. Integrate. Now you're getting closer. Integrate science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But look at the next set of standards from 3 to 7. What do you see there? You see workforce skills. You see 21st century skills. How did we come up with these standards of practice? Where did they come from? We looked at the Next Generation Science Framework, standards and practices. We looked at the Common Core Mathematic practices. We looked at ITEEA, engineering standards. We looked at 21st century skills. We looked at literacy, Common Core for science and technical subjects. And we compared these documents. What was the same in all of these documents that reflected STEM? And we came to these 7 standards of practice. We vetted these standards of practice with business and governmental agencies, with educators, with parents, with students, with teachers, because we needed to know, do these standards really reflect our expectations and their expectations for students who are STEM proficient? If you picked up a copy of the STEM standards of practice, you have a more detailed list of the skills and the behaviors that are expected. Collaboration, communication, logical reasoning. These are all important. Use of technology, these are all important. And we expect that students that are being instructed in STEM are using these as the standards for their practice. We believe that STEM education is for all students and that it begins, we believe, that STEM education is for all students and it begins in kindergarten. In fact, the standards of practice are being back mapped to pre-K at this point in time. All students should be engaged in STEM so that they're career and college ready. We know that as teachers work through the STEM standards of practice, little by little, students will gain knowledge and skills. But we also understand that there's going to be a cohort of kids who love this stuff. And we understand that they will go on to be our leaders in STEM. We don't want to ignore STEM for all, but we do want to address the fact that STEM is for all students and the special group of students that will go on to take more advanced level study. STEM proficient students are investigators, problem solvers. There's one slide missing, right? All right, we'll go with that. They're effective communicators. They're scientifically literate. They're logical thinkers. Our next steps at the State Department of Education are to develop STEM-centric units and lessons. It might surprise you that these STEM-centric units and lessons don't focus just on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEM is a how, and the how can be integrated with the arts. It can be integrated in a physical education classroom, in a health classroom, in a social studies classroom. So our units don't just focus on science and mathematics. They focus in STEM and other content areas. We're providing resources for teachers, resources that they may need, the support that they may need. For example, STEMnet, the STEM Innovation Network Maryland Business Roundtable, is providing for the teachers in the state of Maryland to put STEM specialists in the classroom, to guide career decisions for students, to provide resources for teachers, students, and parents, a very important group in STEM education. We're addressing the needs of underrepresented populations in the state of Maryland. We're also doing professional development. Maryland State Department of Education runs educator effectiveness academies in the state of Maryland. 6,000 teachers come together to learn about Math Common Core, English Language Arts, and STEM. That's one teacher for math, one teacher for English Language Arts, one teacher for STEM, and a principal from every school in the state of Maryland to learn more through professional development about what Common Core means in terms of increased rigor and what STEM education looks like. This professional development focuses on many aspects of STEM, but certainly you must know that we introduced the idea or concept of professional learning communities. Professional learning communities call teachers together to collaborate because STEM is collaborative. Not easy in a school to get collaboration. A little easier in elementary school maybe, more challenging in high school because the physics teacher doesn't talk to the math teacher. You know how that goes. We also support teachers through STEM grants. Our legislature has awarded $1.3 million over the past 3 years so that counties can implement STEM education. The focus of those grants have been elementary STEM education, middle school STEM education, underserved populations of students, and curriculum development that revolves around STEM. If you want to learn a little bit more about STEM, we have a presence on MDK12. There you'll find more about what STEM instruction looks like. You'll also learn about the professional development activities that we have proposed through the state of Maryland. Take a chance, take a look, see what our vision is, see what our mission is, take a look at our goals, take a look at the frameworks. They describe more about the expectations for teachers and students in the state of Maryland. And I know this was a very, very brief introduction to STEM education in the state of Maryland. I hope you'll take the opportunity. We are innovators, we are creators. I'm joined by specialists in high school, middle school, and on Monday, we'll have a new elementary school specialist. We are raced to the top, and we are racing very hard to change the vision of STEM education in the state of Maryland so that all students are STEM proficient. Thank you very much. Let's see if I can get you up there next. Great, thank you.
Hello, again, my name is Laura Pinto, and I'm STEM teacher specialist and BMAH teacher specialist in Arundel County Public Schools. And I'm going to share with you today a little bit about how STEM fits in our magnet programs in Arundel County Public School and in Dr. Maxwell's vision for his journey for greatness. Let's see.
It's hard because it's not high.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's hard when you can't see. In Anne Arundel County Public School, we have magnet programs. The magnet programs are STEM, biomedical allied health, we have our Performing and Visual Arts, and we also have our IB magnet programs. We also have signature programs. Our signatures are self-designated at the high school level, but they all are STEM themed. Change, engineering, homeland security, business, innovation, and leadership, just to name a few. These are new. They've been added last year, and we're still bringing on signatures this year. There's also special programs and academics. We have our ALPS program, which is our Advanced Learners program. We have 2 charter schools, Chesapeake Science Academy and Monarch. We also offer lots of co-curriculars in STEM, CPERCH, MESA, NASA's Best, just to name a few. There we go. All of our STEM programs and all of our signature programs and all of our magnet programs all deal with problem-based learning and real-world learning. And that's really kind of the core of it. For our seniors and our 8th grade students in the STEM magnet program and all the magnet programs, they participate in capstone projects. Our high school students all participate in internships, and they also go on job shadows. There we go. Our co-curriculars are very important in Anne Arundel County Public Schools. And the co-curriculars and our curricular programs kind of have a 3-pronged approach. Co-curriculars are important to us. The co-curriculars, we have a broad spectrum of them. And what they do is they offer hands-on experiences for students. They kind of transcend classroom walls. They're offered before school, after school, online. We also have our curricular approach, which are partnerships with NCTAF, and many of our partnerships, which you can see listed on the bottom. We also partner with Fort Meade Alliance, Northrop Grumman. They're all very important because they help teachers, they connect teachers with experts in the field and students so that we can create these real-world opportunities for learning. The impact for us is that we've started with our STEM high schools. We are starting STEM middle school next year. We'll have our first STEM middle school at Old Mill Middle South in Anne Arundel County. We'll open 2 STEM middle schools the following year after that. We also have some pilot elementary schools right now that are STEM as well. One is actually Woodside Elementary, which is not too far from here. And tonight they have a STEM family night. If anyone is interested in seeing what STEM elementary school looks like, their classes are set up like the problem-based learning, which I talked a little bit about. And they have many little mini challenges, and they also have STEM labs in the school. They were recently contacted by Time Magazine. LEGO identified them as a model STEM elementary school, and the students there were creating, using the Mindstorm Legos, but they were creating persuasive essays about the Mindstorm Legos as to why family members should purchase them, why schools should purchase them for kids. And so it was very cool that Time has contacted them, and they're going to be coming out shortly. But again, if you're interested, it's from 5 to 7 tonight, and you can see what a STEM elementary school program. They actually have pre-K through 6th grade there. Our partnerships, like I said, are super important. They're why we have STEM, why STEM works in Anne Arundel County Public Schools. They offer so much. It's not a monetary or money partnership. It's an expertise partnership. With the partnerships that we have, we're able to create internship opportunities for students. We have community challenge projects for our high school students where the community partners come in and actually create a real world challenge. It's not theoretical, it's a real world problem. And what the community partners then get from that is that students create a white paper, and then they actually produce a product of some sort or an app that the community partnership organization can actually use. These are our 2 STEM high schools right now. The goal is to produce a STEM workforce. The goal of Anne Arundel County Public Schools is also so that that people, students, teachers, educators, people in the workforce see that STEM is part of all world aspects of education. The high schools have certain pathways. They have nanotechnology and material science, computer science and applied mathematics, Project Lead the Way with engineering, aerospace, earth and space systems are the pathways for high school STEM. Like I said, middle school STEM's coming on next year. The idea for middle school STEM is we're going to steam our way into STEM, and they're going to be incorporating the arts into STEM, and the STEAM is also the model that we're using for the elementary schools. Last year, Anne Arundel County launched the Biomedical Allied Health, which is also a STEM magnet school. This is the 2nd year. It's running very smoothly. You can look and see the different types of career paths that they're looking at. We have lots of partnerships in Baltimore with University of Maryland, Johns Hopkins University, with the Biomedical Allied Health program. Oop. Okay, and basically with Anne Arundel County, we're just trying to realize the potential and nurture all of our learners in Anne Arundel County Public Schools. Thank you.
Okay, you're supposed to save the best for last, and they have me coming, so I don't know why they get the order mixed up here. Okay, I'm John Quinn. I'm the Executive Director of STEM for the Baltimore County Schools, and it's my pleasure to be here. I want to acknowledge somebody in the audience who I didn't know was going to be here, and if I did, I would have told Tom, let's just have him come up and speak. He was the guy that hired me, and one of the reasons I came to Baltimore County was that I was very impressed by the number of outstanding STEM programs they had in science, technology, et cetera, mathematics. And they were doing some wonderful things. And that's Dr. Joe Hairston. So Joe, can you just wave to everybody? He was our superintendent for 12 years. He retired in July, and I wouldn't have been at Baltimore County if it wasn't for Dr. Hairston. And it was the reason, Dr. Hairston was the reason that the learning studios actually came to Baltimore County, and I'll get into that. So I'm going to take a little different approach. These are hard acts to follow, but I'm going to kind of talk about our approach in Baltimore County and then finish up with some of the good things that are happening with the learning studios. So when I got to Baltimore County, we had these outstanding programs, and you heard Donna reference the governor's task force report. And I actually went to that briefing, got copies of it, and worked with the 80-plus members of the departments that I supervise to look at what was in there. And there were 7 recommendations that were in the task force report. And based on that, we came to the conclusion, we're doing some really good things in Baltimore County, but we're not working together. I call them isolated acts of brilliance. Our science department had great things going, math department, et cetera, et cetera. But we needed to be coherent. And we need to have a vision that kind of brought all of this together that we could then transmit out to our schools, to our public, and to folks that we wanted to support us. And so our vision was to inspire, engage, and prepare the next generations to be the inventors, explorers, and innovators who will lead the U.S. in science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Stole that from a bunch of sources, but it was a good vision. Let's go beyond what we're doing and lead our students towards bigger and better things. So now there we go. Okay, so also kind of lifted, if you will, from the governor's task force report were 4 areas that we were going to focus on as our mission. College and career readiness, and we wanted a real strong STEM curriculum, and we basically had that, but we wanted a curriculum that had embedded into it rigorous, inquiry-driven, authentic, real-world problems. And we wanted, wherever possible, opportunities for student interest to drive their learning. We felt that was a key towards the goals that we wanted. High-quality PD for our teachers, an opportunity for students to connect with real professionals in the field. Very, very important. And that would be through internships, co-ops, lab experiences, et cetera. And then we just needed to do a better job in talent spotting and talent development. And taking students, and when we're talking K-12 now, at the earliest stages, encouraging students who are strong to move on and ultimately pursue STEM electives while they're with us, but then go on to the world of work or into higher ed following pathways. We did our research also, and we saw that there are obstacles or challenges along the way that we have to address. So if we were going to take our students and ultimately try to get more of them to want to become STEM professionals, we have to do a good job all along the way of capturing and maintaining their interest in presenting STEM in a positive way. Okay? I love the Big Bang Theory, but I wouldn't want to be a physicist after watching those four clowns and how they interact each week. And I say that good-naturedly. But to kids, you know, scientists are not just all crazy old white people with disheveled hair and lab coats, okay? We needed to do a better job in presenting what real STEM professionals do, the exciting work that they do, and build a dream for our kids and overcome some of the image and desirability things that kids get implanted in their heads at an early age. Professional development for teachers, paramount. Real-world experiences within what we do and helping our teachers connect to real-world experiences. Know where industry is going so we can stay on top of industry needs and stay abreast of changes. Know where research and innovation is so, again, we can be on top of things. And then last but not least, be very transparent and promote the higher ed and career pathways. And with that in mind, we started an informal type of partnership where we saw where we were situated, a school system serving 105,000 students, a community college who we work very closely with, who services 74,000 students, most of them coming from Baltimore County public schools, either directly out of high school or sometimes after they've been out in the world coming back. Our four-year universities, and we are very blessed in that we have 4 prestigious colleges within our boundary, and then right across the border within Baltimore, we have other prestigious universities. So we're situated in an arena of higher ed potential partners, and of course the STEM workforce. So we really focused on this idea of building pathways. And now it's time for my shameless plug, and you heard it in the introduction, that what we did was we've created a partnership organization. And again, Dr. Hairston gave us our full support, and we had the support of the president of CCBC, the Community College of Baltimore County. And together our 2 institutions started the Baltimore County STEM Alliance. And this partnership group was launched last spring. And we enlisted some industry partners right off the top of our hat, so to speak, and we went to folks we know who've been in this. Ted Imes is here in the audience, and Northrop Grumman was an early partner, Lockheed Martin. We got our institutes of higher ed who are situated in Baltimore County to be part of this. That's UMBC, Towson, Stevenson, and Goucher College. And then we've got professional societies, et cetera. So we went into this last year with some folks willing to work with us, and this now, and that was last spring when we did this launch, and this has been a year of planning, and we're starting to expand our membership. So this is the shameless plug. All those folks who are out here who are industry partners, nonprofits, we'd love to have you as part of our Baltimore County STEM Alliance, so please see me later. Okay, what we're doing with the Alliance is, again, we're trying to basically set our kids up so that they understand that STEM education is something that requires a new way of thinking, that industry and education have to be tightly aligned, and that if it is a workforce issue, and you've all seen the reports about how we need a new generation of innovators and folks to fill jobs where there are people from industry who are my age and older and are going to be retiring soon, we need to inspire more youngsters there. So we're dedicated around all of that. In addition, we know that what we will accomplish is not going to be easy, so that it's going to be a complex issue. We're going to need multifaceted solutions. We'll require cross-sector organizational support, and that ultimately we need to inspire students. In BCPS, based on some industry needs, we are starting to focus on some additional programs to the good ones that we have already. We're looking at a K12 engineering strand. Currently, engineering is really focused in our high schools, but we need to bring that down into our middle and elementary schools. We're looking at computer programming and information technology. You all know about cybersecurity. We're right here in the home of cyber world, or cyber research, I should say, and defense. There's huge job field, huge need to get more kids there. Again, that's something that we can do in K-12. And to, again, foster innovation, et cetera, independent research. Extended day, extended year opportunities and programs for our kids, externships for our teachers, internships for our students, et cetera. We developed a model that I think Donna Clem will like because it fits her STEM standards of practice. And I'm sorry I shouldn't have done it this way. I should have just shown you the whole model. There we go. So one of the things that we're doing with classroom teachers is we're, again, trying to improve instruction by getting at the heart of what we think STEM education is, using standards of practice, incorporating them, and focusing on that thing in the center, which is called investigation. And as we do that with our teachers, we're asking them to expand or reach out and try to incorporate the mathematics. So let's say I was a science teacher. Incorporate the mathematics or the technology and engineering kinds of applications in my instruction. You see in the center circle words like collaboration, critical thinking, communication, creativity. All of those are 21st century learning skills that we hope to bring to instruction. In yellow, you see what the Common Core has been demanding, especially in reading and language arts. We need our kids to be able to read technical information, to write in a very scientific type of way, technical type of way, and to be able to communicate and do research. So we're using this as kind of a touchstone for how we're working with teachers in order to broaden their instruction. And this is the kind of model that we think really helps set the learning studios in place. And before I talk about learning studios, I do want to mention, you've all heard these different acronyms. STEM has become STEAM. I've just come across one that I think you should all look at. This one is called ST2REAM, or STREAM. And it came from actually a brain research specialist from the West Coast. His name is Ken Wesson. So if you're into this stuff, look him up. He makes a really great point about interconnectedness and its importance in learning. And in Ken's world, STEM would become science, technology, thematic, okay, that interconnectedness idea, emphasis on reading, engineering, and arts. There's a huge connection there, and then, of course, mathematics. And I'm not giving it justice, but it's just something that I just stumbled across. It's really not part of what Baltimore County's doing, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. Okay, so last but not least, the Learning Studio Initiative, which Dr. Hairston permitted us to include in our Race to the Top funding from the state of Maryland, has been a very exciting initiative, and it really encompasses the big things that I just kind of described for you in terms of context. It's a creative partnership between classroom teachers and STEM professionals. And we started this at our STEM Academy High School. We decided we wanted to start small, make sure that it worked, and then if we saw good results, to expand it to other schools. I kind of thought it would work, but we just in Baltimore County, we don't run out and just do things wholeheartedly and then say, whoops, our bad. We try to do it strategically, study it, see what kind of results we're getting. And the things that we found is that it is creative, it's engaged our teachers and helped them grow, and it's really fostered some deep learning for our students. We started with one STEM Learning Studio team, and they focused on genetics and had NIH as their STEM partner. And genetics happens to be on the high school biology exam as one of the major areas in biology, and one of the areas that the school wanted to raise their scores in. And we found that after getting involved in a learning studios, some of our preliminary results are finding that it actually improves student performance around the major driving investigation, which was genetics. These teams, though, were cross-discipline, so they included mathematics teachers, teachers from technology teachers, and I believe there was even psychology teachers involved in that learning studio. So Chesapeake has now added a second team, and based on the good results that we've seen, we're starting to expand our model to some other schools. So as I told Tom when I walked in here, if we find the funding, we hope to have learning studios at all our secondary schools. We're pretty excited by it. We're seeing some good early results, and we think it's a way forward. So with that, I've concluded my presentation.